Welcome to episode 35 of Pausing on the Prophets. Today we're looking at Isaiah 5, verses 5 and 6. And Isaiah writes, "So now let me tell you what I am going to do to my vineyard. I will remove its hedge and it will be consumed. I will break down its wall and it will become trampled ground. I will lay it waste. It will not be pruned or hoed, but briars and thorns will come up. I will also charge the clouds to rain, no rain on it." What becomes of a vineyard with worthless grapes? Its protection is removed, and things get worse. Trampled, consumed, thorns, briars, parched ground. It's the opposite of fruitfulness. You want to ignore my blessings and care, God asks? You don't believe that I'm of benefit to you? Let me remove the protection you've had all these years and let me call nature against you, God would say. The status quo of producing worthless fruit does not remain. But judgment is not just punishment. It's a needed reminder that God is sovereign and that his long-suffering kindness was an environment in which both Israel and us could flourish if we would only submit to his ways. The removal of his kindness is meant to soften our hearts to return to the blessings of God's protection and care. Paul would echo this idea in Romans 1 when he said, those who refuse to give thanks to God and honor him were given over to their selfishness, which resulted in greater selfishness and sin, and the pain that ultimately comes from our poor choices. But then he would go on in chapter 2 to say that it is God's kindness that leads us to repentance. We may not think judgment is kindness, but if it stirs us from our fruitlessness, our fruitless lives, is it not the kindness of God